I'm gonna play around with a few of the items that I got in my Colourpop mystery box, including the Hocus Pocus palette. I've gotten questions on it. People were saying, girl, did you play with it yet? Not yet. We're gonna do that today. Now that I think about it, I wanna go green on the eyes. I haven't done green in a little minute. And this little poncho situation is not gonna match, but we're gonna act like it does because this palette is really pretty and I kind of want to go green. We can also do the purple, but I feel like I've done purple several times. The first item I'm going to try is going to be the sponge I got in the mystery box. We're gonna go ahead, prime the skin super quickly. And if you're wondering what primer I'm gonna use, it is going to be the Breakfast one by Zoo of the Gods. Kind of want to use this one because I really like her, and the concealer because it's actually really nice, but I'm gonna do a one pump because I don't want to do like a super heavy base. I want it to be light and glowy. This sponge doesn't feel like anything super different or special. It kind of just feels like a regular sponge. It does feel like it's latex free. I wonder if they're gonna come out with like a Christmas box. That would be pretty cool. If you're wondering what shade foundation I'm in, I am using the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. So good. I was able to get my perfect shade just off of swatches online, which was awesome. And mine is in medium dark 135W. I'm gonna use the concealer. This is the No Filter concealer in medium dark 32. You know when you sit down and you have time to think, or when you're doing the dishes, or even in the shower you have time to think about like back in the day and how things used to be, and a lot of it was like really funny and you can just sit and laugh. That's been happening to me all morning, and I'm grateful for where I am today, but I'm also just sitting here cracking up because it's like certain things only happen to me, and then it's also like, what decisions did I make? It's just, I'm an odd individual. And I know now you're like, what are you talking about? I want to know. I'm gonna share right now. I won't give you every single story because if not, it'll take forever. I'm using my Jaclyn Hill to set my under eye. I need to put her away because this little pan is getting visible. So I need to put her away and grab another one of my setting powders. Okay, so I can give you like a mini story here and there. You guys actually like my stories. I like that you guys like my stories because I think they're funny. Let me start filling in my brows. I'm using the brow pencil in dark brown by Colourpop. Oh my god, this is not sponsored. It's not, I promise you. I really like this pencil. I'm gonna use a base that's not Colourpop. I literally pulled it out to use it, but I'm not gonna use Colourpop. I'm gonna use another base. All right, so I remember when I worked in the office, this literally popped in my head maybe like 10 minutes before filming. So I worked in the office and our supervisor, I've already given you guys details on how mean he was. And not mean, he thought that he was like our dad. That's how he behaved. And he was younger than most staff. Yet he thought that he was the say-all be-all, he was the god, and although he had a superior, he would threaten you in ways where you would feel like, I can't even go to the superior and say anything because of the fact that if I did, they would say something to him and now I have to deal with him being even meaner. Like you would be in his shit list if you were to go snitch on him, which is the way that he would see it, you know? And then he would create a track record and write you up for the oddest things. Even if you went to the bathroom and you took 10 minutes, Lord knows what you were doing in the bathroom, right? Well, you know what? You could have taken your 15-minute break to use the bathroom if you were gonna take that long. You have to be considerate of other people's time and that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, like, I don't even know how I lasted there. Well, no, I do know. I know how I lasted there a good 14 years, and it was only because I paid his behind no mind. It was one of those situations where I showed up, I did my job, and I have a big mouth. So it was more so like whenever something was addressed to me that I was not okay with, I wouldn't stay quiet, and it kind of was what it was, and we would argue, he'd be upset with me, and then he would move on because he needed me. But he used to nitpick most of the other staff, like 90% of the time. So anyway, so I say that to say, we worked so hard at that office. So whenever he took vacation, which was rare until I ended up working there and taking on 90% of what he would delegate. At that point, he started taking vacations. And girl, I've got stories about that job. But anyway, we were just like any office at the time. I don't know what things are like now. I haven't actually worked in an office in years. However, you know, it was your basic office where, you know, while the cat is away, the mice would play. So we made sure no matter what, we met our goals and we made sure that our work was done. But it was most definitely like a TikTok where you're supposed to work 8 hours, but for 7 hours you were farting around. So you put 8 hours worth of work into 1 hour and somehow you did a really good job and you succeeded and no one would ever know that you were playing around for 7 hours. We kind of did that. And don't get me wrong, we were sneaky and we were really smart. So we made sure no matter what, that if we were going to like mess around for the day and not work, or for the week, because being honest, sometimes it was quite a while that we wouldn't do much of anything, we needed to make sure that he was actually on vacation. So if he took a vacation day, but he wasn't flying anywhere, then that was not like party time, right? Because it made no sense. He could walk in at any moment and girl, it would happen. So we knew better. Like those of us who were there long enough knew you don't play unless you know this man got on a flight. So we would wait until we saw that his flight actually kind of like departed. And then we're like, okay, I think we're free. And then we would send him a text message to see if he would respond. Like, hey, I have a question or whatever. And then if he wouldn't respond, typically he was like in international waters or something. So he wouldn't like answer. And then we would get away with it and like take the day off. And then eventually he would confirm that he's like in Jamaica or Hawaii or something. And then we knew, okay, we're free for the week, which was awesome. And I'm giving you kind of like a little bit of backstory so that you guys would understand like our thought process behind this whole thing. Because I know it sounds kind of like, wow, that's messed up, but it wasn't messed up, girl. It wasn't. Since we're going green, I'm going to use the Hot Mess Rockin's Cosmetics green pencil. I got in BoxyCharm like a really, really long time ago. I'm gonna take that onto the lid and the lid only. From what I recall, it's been a minute, but I feel like this doesn't dry down too fast. So I think I have some time. I'm just grabbing a brush and I'm gonna kind of pat it, but blend it in. That way it's not like super harsh. And then we'll go in with a green eyeshadow. So anyway, so what happens? We verified this man was no longer in our state. So of course we're sitting here chilling, right? But you know, karma has a way of kind of getting you, because we had a male employee there and he was like one of the coolest young cats there. And we had a long hallway. We were playing card games and all this mess. And then I remembered that we had participated in a health fair in which they provided us with frisbees. So guess what we ended up doing? Okay, this base is doing the most. I'm gonna go in with the matte first. This is the Fur Black as Black. I know this is an angled brush, but it's a brush, girl. It works. And since it's Colourpop, it's pretty pigmented, so I'm gonna tap out. And then I'm going to set that liner. You see how using a base that is literally in the family of your eyeshadow works? It's gonna make it as green as possible. It literally looks like the pan. Does it not? It's like green. So little old smarty pants me and the male coworker, and I'm not gonna give names because I'm not trying to get anyone into trouble or anything like that. But anyway, we whipped out the frisbee and decided it'd be fun to kind of play around with the frisbee. Why not? It's a really long hallway. We're throwing the frisbee back and forth and we're hitting the wall and it was fine. Nothing got damaged. By the way, all I'm doing is patting the product on, and I am most definitely going back in the pen, not that I need to, because I want it to be as intense as possible. If you have a green base that does not have all this shimmer, you can go that route. I was gonna use the P. Louise, the teal one that they sent, but I also thought about it and I was like, I want this to be as true to color as possible. So I went with this green pencil instead. And I'm gonna add shimmers to the eye anyway, so it didn't matter. But if you want it to be completely matte, then skip on this liner because this liner definitely has some shimmers in it. So anyway, so what happens? So we're sitting here throwing that frisbee back and forth. We're hitting the walls. I remember at one point also his superior showed up and we were like, oh no, we're just working. Obviously we had a private door so no one could get through unless we had like allowed them, and we got smart enough to where we didn't get caught, right? But here is where karma comes into play. I'm gonna go with a very light shade because I only want to blend out that edge really quickly because it's starting to look a little on the funky side. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush and I'm gonna dip into All Hallows Eve. I don't want a lot of pigment. I literally just want something to smooth out these edges for me real quick. And then I'm gonna blend back and forth, specifically where it's harsh. So supervisors end up leaving, okay, yada yada. We go back to playing frisbee, right? Tell me why I hit the wall trying to catch the darn frisbee. I tripped and I fell. and I hear a big crack. Now I'm gonna grab a smaller kind of like little eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna dip into Circle of Salt, and that one's going to be the shimmery green, very emerald. I'm gonna tap that on the inner portion first. Again, we're tapping, and the point of tapping is so that you can set your base and it'll grip whatever eyeshadow you have on your brush like a magnet. So I'm tapping away, bringing her up a little bit like this. And then if I want a really nice blend, which of course I do, I am gonna go right over that green just a smidge and kind of go back and forth like this. And then what we're gonna do is I'll grab the brush that I used for that matte green. I'm gonna grab that brush and I'll go over it again, specifically where the two shades meet, and that's gonna give me a really pretty gradient. And we're still not done because I have to add a color onto the crease to make this all work. We're gonna go back into that matte. So girl, I literally heard a crack. Turns out I fell on top of the frisbee. It was the only frisbee we had to play with, and I broke it. Like, I literally cracked it and I broke it. So I was like, oh crap. But I was still sitting on it when I noticed that it was broken. So I pulled it. That wasn't even the karma. So the frisbee breaking was most definitely not karma. I'm grabbing a fluffy white brush, and I'm gonna gently begin to apply a color over on my crease. I'm gonna work my way slightly darker without getting too dark. So I wanna use Moon is Round. It is a much warmer shade than the initial cream we used, and I'm using a big fluffy brush like this one because this is going to add pigment very slowly and blend very well without too much effort. So girl, tell me why when I pulled the frisbee from underneath me, because it was broken and slit kind of like in half, one of the corners had been gripped to my jeans and I didn't know it. And next thing you know, I get up and I feel air. I feel air in my hiney. Turns out that when I pulled the freaking frisbee, it freaking ripped my jeans, not in the butt crack area, just right underneath a butt cheek. Is that not like one side only at that? But it was a big rip. There was no way I could hide it. That was like embarrassing to say the least. It was kind of weird. So I was walking around and I was like, okay. So I figured now I have to go to a store. Thank goodness we worked where there were a lot of plazas and stores. So it was as simple as just make your way to a store. However, the stores at that time, I don't know about now, but at the time, they only opened at 10. So mind you, we were already throwing a party and having a good time, and it wasn't even 10 o'clock. So I had to tie a sweater around my waist and kind of like wait until the stores open. I tried to sit for as long as I could without showing my hiney. I think I want to grab a very, very, very small brush. This is a Luxie 237 blending. I'm going to dip into the Fur Black again, the matte green. And I'm going to concentrate that out here. And I want to create a pretty blend, but I want to fuse these two shades together. Karma didn't end there. Okay, so we end up going to the store. Like my coworker, he was like, I'll go with you. I feel bad or whatever, just in case. I'll go with you. So we go to the store. It turns out I left my cell phone and my husband had been calling me. So eventually I get back and he calls me again and says, hey, I heard what happened to your pants. And I had no choice but to just kind of go, yes. Part of the karma that got me that day was the fact that my husband and I, just like a day or two before, had a conversation where the job that he had at the time, he had been saying how it was like super strenuous and it was a lot of work. And so I said, well, my job is hard too. I said, well, my job is hard too, just because I sit behind a desk and it's so demanding and the this and the that and the other. So I was trying to prove a point that working in an office is also complicated, which is very, very true. However, in this instance, I kind of looked really bad because it's like your job is that hard, yet you were playing frisbee and you ripped your pants and you had to go get pants. You had to go buy new jeans. Really? It was a moment. And at that point, I knew that argument, I had like lost it a long time ago, but that just validated the reason why I lost that argument. It was just really funny. Now I can sit here and laugh, but I was so mad. I was like, oh my God. Like I went on and on about how, you know, working in an office is difficult, yet he has been informed that I was not answering the phone because I ripped my pants playing frisbee when I should have been working. It was just really, really funny. You know, obviously, when I got home, this man sat there and laughed so hard because once again, it was like an I told you so moment, as in, you know, he knew my job was hard, but for me to say that my job was as hard as his when I don't have to lift ladders or anything like that, and I did have opportunities to have downtime, it was very different. It was really funny though. I still laugh about it today. But yeah. Anyways, I was thinking like stories like that and how I play them out in my mind, and It's just funny. I'm using the Colourpop liquid liner. This is the green one they sent. It's called the Hills. I'm going to extend the inner of the eye a smidge. Then I'm gonna line the bottom a little bit, but then I'm gonna go in with a black liner because I just feel like this look needs a black liner. I'm gonna emphasize a line out here. So we're gonna go in with lashes. And then I'm gonna go in with an eyeliner. It's a black one. And I'm gonna line the waterline. And yeah, you know, it's funny because I go back, you know, we live our day by day and we're always swamped and busy. So whenever I have some downtime, I sit down and those are the things that come to mind, you know, back in the day, the funny things. I'm gonna go ahead and add some mascara to the bottom and the top. And then I'm gonna go in with lashes because I feel like this eye needs a little more drama. The lashes I used in yesterday's video, you guys absolutely loved. They are the Kiss lashes. They're not even expensive. They're about $8, I think. So considering I usually love my dollar lashes, yes, it's $8. So it's kind of like more expensive than my dollar lashes, but these are really nice. These are hand woven faux mink lashes, and these were gifted to me in PR. And they're really great. This is like the third set that I get and they're amazing. You can use them like 10 times if you take care of them, which is why I apply my mascara first and then I'll go in with the lashes because I don't want to apply mascara onto the lashes because then, you know, you're like shortening the lifespan of the lashes. These are the Lash Couture Masterpiece lashes. This is what the box looks like. And then these are the little ends. I'm saving them because they're so fluttery and fluffy that I could totally use them to stack. But the style that I used is Haute Couture. And my lashes are right here because they're so good. I can just like reuse them a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and pop those on really, really quickly. I'll be right back. The lash glue is setting. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and apply some blush. But yeah, it's funny. I have so many weird and funny stories that would like crack you up. Oh my god, I forgot to bronze. I'm gonna apply bronzer now. For instance, let me give you an example. So after I got my weight loss surgery, it's weird because I was going through this body dysmorphia and I still kind of do. Like right now I feel like I'm back at 250 pounds, which I'm not. I'm closer to the 150, yet still I feel like I'm the weight that I was before the surgery. It's just body dysmorphia issues, right? I feel like I'm a lot bigger than what I actually am. At least that's my brain is processing my new weight that way, right? But it's like my rings, notice that I don't wear them as much as I used to. With the weight loss, I ended up losing weight like on my fingers too, right? So I remember, you know those cabinets, they're like 5 drawers, they're huge and you put files in them. Girl, tell me why at one point we had music in the back, everyone was heating up their lunch. This was a mission. Everyone was eating up their lunch. And of course, Yari starts dancing because why not? Like I'm with my friends, we're good, right? I start dancing and I went like this. I hadn't realized how much weight I had lost to the point that my rings no longer fit, right? I mean, I knew my rings didn't fit, but I didn't think they would come out like that. Let me tell you, I legit went like this and my rings flew out of my finger. Both of them, and all we heard was a jingle of like the jewelry, and we were like, oh my god, where did they go? When we come to find out, when they flew, they hit the wall and fell right behind one of those huge, really tall cabinets, and those cabinets were filled with files. It was a whole thing. It took us hours to empty the darn cabinet and move it out of the way to get my rings back. And at one point someone had the audacity to say, well, you know what, like we can always leave it for tomorrow and we'll help you get the rings tomorrow first thing in the morning. No, I got here with my rings. I'm leaving with my rings on. There's no way I'm going home without my rings. Like, no, not gonna happen. It was just a whole thing, and that was like the project for the day. And then we had staff providing us with water because of course like you get hot. It was a whole thing. It was really, really funny. I'm gonna go in with the lip duo that I got. Just as a reminder, this is the Lippy Pencil in Oh My. And then this is their lipstick in So Iconic, but they're supposed to go well together. I went green on the eyes and this is like a nudie pink. So let's see how that works. Well, that's really pink. This is just not. I'm gonna try to make it work. We're gonna make this work. How pink this is. I'm only applying that in the middle. That's it. So I'm gonna take a cotton pad, remove some of it, and then I'm gonna go in with my P. Louise lip liner. It's a nude one and it should kind of like tie everything in together because this is like a lot. Okay, you see it's still pinky but not too much, so it kind of works. I'm not mad at this. All right, I made sure my lashes were set in place. What do you guys think? Did you get this palette? Do you have this palette? Did you want a creative look with it? It is a beautiful palette. The pigmentation is there. The quality is there. It's Colourpop. Y'all already know. And I think this goes for about 16 bucks, if not less. So tremendous deal. Beautiful palette. Great for like Halloween, the holidays. You get your greens. You get your warm shades. You have your shimmers. She's beautiful. I had a ton of fun putting this look together and then sharing like little stories that I play in my mind of things that have happened in life that are just hilarious. I hope you guys enjoyed those funny stories. If you want to hear more funny stories, then let me know. I know you guys like the chit chat, kind of get ready with me's and that kind of thing, but I can make it into like funny stories while I do tutorials, because honestly, like, they crack me up and it just reminds me of just life in general and how fun it could be. Do not forget, my giveaway is still open. It is live. It's closing tonight, so you don't want to sleep on it. You want to make sure that you get your entry forms in, because this bundle is awesome. I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit the like button for me. It really, really helps out. And if you haven't already subscribed, por favor, hit that subscribe button down below. Again, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.